Hello. Oh, it's recording. Okay.
You know what we're doing?
Think we do. Think I do.
Okay. What are we doing?
Is this that documentary for the 10-year anniversary?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, I pay attention.
Can't even see it.
I know, I'm taking it away because you can't see it. It's doing your job over there. I'm like
Come on, we have a video to do here.
tamping down.
You getting all that?
Okay, do you know what this is about?
I have no idea.
It's the 10-year anniversary of the channel.
Really? 10 years already? Oh my God. Jeez.
How did we start?
It was. It basically started. It was a back and forth between you and me. You were like telling me to start a YouTube channel, basically to make use of my filmmaking degree. And I said, okay, fine, but I'm gonna need help, and you have to help me.
I'm realizing now a lot of newer subscribers probably don't even know who Will is, but believe it or not, he's the one who started this channel. He's the reason that it exists in the first place.
Well, I remember when you came home from working at Busted Tees, it was actually a real job with benefits and salary and everything. And you came home and said, I'm quitting. And I said, oh, you find a new job? And you go, no, I didn't find a new job. So what are you going to do? I'm going to go on YouTube. And I went, what? Are you out of your mind? YouTube? I didn't even know what it was, for crying out loud.
That's not exactly what
That's
happened.
pretty much what happened.
I'm on camera a lot, obviously. Hi, how you doing? It's me again. But I figured I'd use this anniversary as an opportunity to show you guys all of the people who help behind the scenes, people who don't have a chance to be on camera that much. And also the people who have kept me going for the past 10 years.
My first video was talking about how DC Comics didn't want Batwoman to get married because apparently superheroes can't get married, at least during that time period.
One of the big sticking points is that DC editorial rejected the idea of lead character Kate Kane getting married to fiancée Maggie Sawyer. The rejection had nothing to do with the fact that the characters are gay, just the fact that they were going to get married in the first place.
There's something I wanted to talk about. You know, I like comic books. I always want to talk about comic books. And I felt like, especially back in 2013, the comic book space on YouTube wasn't there, or at least it wasn't there to the extent that like video games were talked about or movies were talked about. So not like that I was going to kickstart like the comic book revolution on YouTube, but at least have my voice be a voice of on YouTube talking about this particular subject matter so that there was at least something.
Next thing I know, you're in the basement like 20 hours a day putting out stuff that I'd have no idea what you were talking about. Controllers and video games and Xboxes and PlayStations and Sega and who the heck knows what else. Started with like 2 subscribers, me and your mother.
How come fat people don't make their Xbox avatars fat? Just do it, you're not fooling anybody. I can hear you breathing through your headset.
I hate watching myself. I think there's been a lot of growth over the years. This channel was for Will. It was something for him to do. We always watched video game and comic book content on YouTube, and we always talked to people about that kind of stuff. So it came natural to us. So I told him, I gave him the idea to start a YouTube channel and put his film degree to use. Then he dragged me into it.
Really, it was just about trying to get into a routine. It was just about finding time to pick a topic and write about it, then finding time to actually film it, to sit down in front of the camera and record what I wanted to talk about, and then finding the time to sit down and edit it, clean it up, and eventually upload it to YouTube.
How did you feel about us broadcasting your basement?
No, that was fine. I didn't have a problem with that. I figured how far could it go? Who's going to know it's my basement? So here we are in the former home of the Wulff Den. So first we'd be remiss if we didn't show you old Bob's artwork that I can't throw out because I don't know what to do with it. So I hung it all up. Of course, I have no idea what Red Redemption is, but I still have their poster and all these stupid video games that I'm going to put on eBay one of these days. And if you think that's not enough garbage to have since he left or they both left, here's more stuff. We should have a giveaway.
What do you think our parents think of it?
I'm sure in the beginning they thought it was completely insane. It's not like a career. This is just, a way to pass time. And now that I think that they see that it is a viable career, at least one of our parents is trying to milk it for all it's worth.
I was a little skeptical in the beginning, but now I'm full on board because I want that net jet to a tower suite at the Wynn. Like all the other YouTubers, they take care of their parents. I've seen some of them buy their parents new cars. I'm letting you off easy.
I think it took my friends a little bit to kind of understand the concept of it. I think after a while, they just knew I make videos on YouTube. Some of them still don't really understand it. Some of them think I'm much bigger than I actually am. I don't know if our family still completely understands it. They just know it's like a job and it's a lot of hard work and it's something that has to be done.
All right.
Am I looking at eyeline?
Look at me.
Okay. The first time I heard about you doing YouTube stuff was around 2012, 2013. And I even remember you reading the script to us. And Jerry goes, "What are you going to call the channel? The Wolf Den?" And you went, "Yeah." Like that's what I'm not making. That's the real story. That is the real, Jerry was busting your fucking balls. He goes, "We're going to call it the Wolf Den?" You're like, "Yeah." You guessed the nickname instantly, which is really funny.
I'm very fortunate to be able to make a living doing something that I genuinely like to do. It makes the work a lot easier. It makes the long hours a lot easier. It makes you want to spend those long hours doing it. I'm also very fortunate to be able to bring some of my friends along. One of my best friends for the past 15 years, you guys have probably never seen because he's usually behind the camera. He's responsible for a lot of the ads that you see. So if you love the ads or even if you hate the ads, he's to blame.
The one I remembered that I think you decided to keep me around, we were at the old studio in Brooklyn. It was for Magic Spoon. And we were trying to find something funny to do because we had this giant space to work with. We were excited. The idea I came up with was that we were trying to figure out something about you were eating too much Magic Spoon. Too much Magic Spoon will make everything turn into Magic Spoon. And I went how about instead of that, it's all the bad cereals have side effects that make you turn it turns other things into cereal. So you ate a bunch of bad cereal and you're turning things into things. So it's you're eating the cereal and it's not healthy for you and you go to grab things and you keep on turning sofas, remotes, cell phones into cereal. There was a moment where oh, that makes sense. So I think that's when I kind of think you decided to keep me around after that one.
Oh no. Magic Spoon also tastes amazing, just like the stuff that used to make me feel like crap, with flavors like cocoa, fruity. The reason we put so much time into these ads is because I know that your time is valuable, and I'm using that time up whenever I show you a video. And these advertisers are paying me for your time. They're paying me for my audience. So I want to make it worth it to everybody there. So why not take some of that money and invest it back into the videos to make it worth it for you guys to see? And of course you could skip it if you don't want it. But a lot of the people here ended up really liking the ads that we do. So I appreciate that. And I'm sure everybody appreciates that.
When I started working for the channel was August of 2021. There was times I would help out with stuff, maybe in passing, but my first ad I worked on was Vessi in Brooklyn, in some park in Brooklyn where you're eating the pasta and you don't want to get on the shit. That was the first one I worked on.
No!
I found the Wolf Den channel on YouTube in 2020, March of 2020. Kind of when the whole pandemic started, right at the beginning. Animal Crossing was coming out and I hadn't really played my Switch in a while, but I definitely wanted to get back into Animal Crossing. I was just looking up Switch content on YouTube, and I found some similar channels to Bob, and then I found the Wolf Den channel, and I liked Wolf Den, Bob as a personality, and I liked his videos. Just something drew me to them, and I just kept coming back and watching them. And then eventually I found your Twitch stream and I just like got to know you parasocially a little bit more. Basically, I just DM'd you and slid into the DMs and started talking. And first message I sent to you was regarding your apartment tour video. You had just moved into an apartment in Brooklyn. So your roommate Sam wanted a bigger TV and you said, no, this one's big enough.
Me and my roommate, our first argument was about how big the TV needs to be. And I said 60 inches should be fine. He said, no, we gotta get a 72 inch. Because when the babes come over, they gotta see the TV and then they're gonna wanna have sex with me. I said 65 and that's it. So we got a 65 inch.
So my first message was, you know, you're great and all, but like that bigger TV would have really like pushed you over the edge. And long story short, here we are now.
Turns out 65 inches can still get the babes. How you doing?
Zim is in the ads, and that's more so Bob. Bob pushed him to do it, but I do. You know what? I take it back. My favorite video we've ever done was, I think it was the most in-depth writing ever done for the commercial. Was the Zim spiraling into Party Zim?
That was the last search.
Okay, yes.
For a while.
Yeah. That was fun. Where he was on a binge, some kind of drug binge, and there was multiple youths dancing in the room. That was a fun one. That was a good one.
How do you feel about him being used so much?
It's great. He needs something to do. He's bored. So once you dress him up and put him to work for an hour, I think he enjoys it.
Did you meet any people through your videos?
Yeah, I'm still meeting people from these videos, and I haven't done them in like how long. I meet people in person. I meet people online. You know, be they other content creators, just people who stumble across who want to know a good Batman comic to read, a good Spider-Man comic to read. You know, I'm still getting people saying, "Hey, I watch your videos, and you know, help me find out about so and so."
I had just retired, but I went back part-time teaching classes. And many times during the classes, I was shocked because they'd see the name. All of a sudden, people would go, "Did your son have a YouTube channel? Hey, I know the Wulff Den." And I realized, hey, these people actually know what's going on. They've actually got a following. And then I had to watch what I said. The other time was when we were away and you got hacked and they stole your identity. And we started getting pizza deliveries. We started getting Chinese food deliveries.
Yeah, I made a video a bit ago about how I'm glad E3 doesn't exist anymore because they doxed me in like 2019. Fuck those guys.
Last month, we got a pizza delivery because unbeknownst to the general public, he lives in an undisclosed location. Or the best was when the police called and said, hey, you got to watch out. You may be swatted. That's always reassuring. I'm waiting for that call, but I'll just tell him I do have a hostage because I'm old and I can get away with it now. And of course, here we have the Wulff Den Memorial Corner, where there's other stuff that I'm going to have to put on eBay. I don't know what this red guy is, but he watches over the whole place. I think he flies around at night. We have books that they never read. And then we have an assortment of Sonic. And we have night vision in case I get lost down here and the lights go out. This used to be the main shooting area right here. Well, they actually started over there in front of a big cabinet over here with a card table in front of an old big screen TV that I finally regained back. And right here, they talk about all things meaningless, like games and gamers and I don't know what else. But it all started right here. And we'd have to be quiet upstairs because they didn't want us to come onto their videos. They left their mark because I can't get rid of this junk. I don't even know what's in here. There's cardboard boxes, like with the old Viewmaster. We used to have these when I was a kid, except they were plastic. And then one of these things. Who hasn't seen one of these things? Why I still have them, I don't know.
I mean, it was because of this that like we got to go to conventions, places like E3 and New York Comic Con. The experience of going to New York Comic Con as a creator versus as a regular person is surprisingly different, you know, because you can get there early. You know, you have a little bit more time to like walk around. At least back in the day, you can go multiple days. So you didn't have to see everything all at once. As stupid as it is to say, like, it was a dream of mine to go to E3 as a kid. And because of this channel, I got to do that and, you know, see that it really wasn't all that was cracked up to be. The reach that this had, and the fact that we were able to reach people across the country and around the world, even. That's probably like the biggest shock and impact to me.
Highlight of my career on the Wulff Den channel was when we went to Japan. That was a highlight. And now he's going the end of this month and he's not taking me with him. He's too big now. Now he's got 3 producers going with him and some other guy, some Australian, talks funny and everything. And worse than that, he drives a Tesla. But anyway, going back to the Japan trip, 9 times he got stopped and was recognized. And when I tried to take pictures with these people, he would stop me. Never promoting my brand, of course.
You always leave a business card with people?
Everywhere I go, every hotel I ever stay at, every time I go to a restaurant, I always leave the Wulff Den sticker because I support the brand, unlike him and his brother. And I do want to see more merch. I was even willing to take over the merchandising for the Wulff Den. So please tell them you want more merch. And this way, the Wulff Den dad can have some side action and head to Vegas more than he does.
Start your own channel.
Start my own. Well, I should actually. Actually, what I should do is a critique of the Wulff Den channel. And that other guy, the guy with the long hair from Australia, with the dumb name for his thing, beat him up. Where did he come up with that anyway? And when are we going to meet this guy?
That's a type of game. It's a type of game that they call.
Oh, in Australia?
No.
And I've been to Australia. Nice people, by the way. Good hamburgers. Wagyu hamburgers all over the place. But they don't really put shrimp on the barbie. Have you ever had a shrimp on his barbie?
No.
Oh, see? What'd I tell you? Or Foster's beer?
Nope.
And he calls himself an Australian. I'm more Australian than he is. All I need is the hat.
Okay. Hello. Testing. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. I remember, and I specifically pinpointed the first video that I remember watching in the Wulff Den channel. This was prime, Nintendo Switch launch year, 2017. Everyone's Switch videos are popping, and I remember stumbling across this video.
If you plan on ever taking this thing with you anywhere, you're going to need a case. I had a friend who used to carry his Switch around in a big old sock. Hey man, whatever works.
Basically, all I remember is this long-haired guy saying, you need to buy this case for your Switch or else you're effing up, And I think I actually bought the exact case that he recommended in that video. But since then, I've been an avid Wulff Den viewer.
Benny was probably too young to be editing for me when he started. In my defense, I had no idea. He was just some guy on the internet that edited good videos. I only learned exactly how old he was when it came time to do tax stuff. And that all of a sudden was very complicated.
Oh my God, we are rolling. Wow. My brother knew about you before I did. And then we first met at E3 2018. I knew about you, but it was weird because my brother's ex-girlfriend knew you, and I think that was the first thing I told you. That's how we kind of met. And then I think I gave you a sticker from my old YouTube channel, or a pin or something. And then, yeah, that's kind of how we became friends. Before we were like actually working, I guess, together, yeah, I was editing for you, and I had, I don't know how many, 20, 30 videos? It had to be like somewhere around there. I did a solid couple months worth of stuff, and I would, wait until 3 in the morning until you sent B-roll, and then it'd be great, because then I'd have an hour to finish the video, and I'd be tired. But it was worth it, I guess.
Bob's like a nocturnal ass fool, He records his videos maybe 1, 2 in the morning. Maybe that's an exaggeration. That's what it feels like, because I usually get the main A-roll footage when I'm sleeping. I started working for Wulff Den basically from E, or you guys maybe know him as Guy with the Hair. Peak pandemic coronavirus quarantine time. I'm like, you know what? I got experience editing videos. I edit my own videos. At that time, I'd been making videos for like 6 years. What if I just try to edit for some creators, edit for some YouTubers, maybe get paid for it? So I go to my dad with this idea, and he just like crushes my soul. He's like, okay, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You can edit, but like you're not that good. Like, stop the ego. Why would people pay you to edit their videos? I'm like, fine then. So I go on Twitter, and I say, who's looking for a video editor? I have so much experience. And then E is like, yo, I'm actually looking for a video editor. Me and E collab. I do like 3 or 4 Twitch highlights for him. Then he's like, yo, my buddy Bob is looking for a Twitch clip editor. Are you interested? I'm like, Bob? And then I check out what Bob he's talking about. It's like, yo, it's the Wulff guy, the guy from the videos I used to watch in middle school. But I gotta play it cool, so I'm like, yeah, I've seen his videos before. But in my head, I'm just like, so me and Bob get in contact, and he's like, basically, you're gonna edit for the Wulff Den Clips channel. I'm gonna give you 3-hour VODs. You're gonna cut it down the best you can to like 10 or 15 minutes. make it entertaining, make it funny. The first time ever seeing that long video file in the timeline, the 3-hour long video clip, I was like, how the hell am I ever gonna cut this down? But since then, I counted on the channel, I've edited in total 162 Wulff Den clips, which is just like crazy. I started editing for him when I was 15. Now I'm 18, so that's crazy.
September or October of 2021, you were living in downtown Brooklyn and you were living out of a closet, and you're like, I want to be separate from this. And I told you that I was building this place, and you came and checked it out, and from what it looked like, you liked it. And it was very bare bones, and you kind of came in when I did, which was cool because it already allowed this place to become like a creative space without me having to like try to figure it out or search for people. So you took a lot of this and helped me make it what it is. Now I produce the Nintendo podcast, and that's with you and Wood, and that's always fun. And I like doing that because it I never really did the whole live cut thing. And now that when we do it here, we do the live cut, it kind of sharpens me a little differently. Yeah, but the podcast is great. I love doing that. Wood's all right. I don't know.
Maybe my favorite video to edit was back when Bob reached 1,000 subs on Twitch. There was this big sub goal where everyone was like hyping it up for months. Like, okay, when he reaches 1,000 subs on Twitch, he has to wear a maid outfit on stream and play like Mario Maker or something. Leading up to it, I was editing all these streams and people would constantly tease about it, like, oh my god, we're almost there, oh shoot. Then I remember seeing the stream and Bob was wearing like a maid outfit. Then I'm like, oh shoot, I have to edit this tonight. So he's like, here's the footage. It's the one of me wearing the maid outfit. Damn, I gotta put some like funny things in it. So I remember going ham with like the anime sound effects. I didn't want my family to see my screen. I'm like, oh, don't look at what I'm editing right now. I'm editing this grown man wearing a maid outfit, showing off his like hairy legs. Like, this is weird. Don't get any ideas from this.
Honestly, I think the favorite one I ever edited, I didn't like film, was, it's a weird one. I really liked, I'm gonna say the name of the company wrong. It was Incogni, where like you were like in your apartment and there was like multiple Bobs. And I had my old computer back then and it was really trucking along. And I just really wanted, there's a point at the end where all the Bobs beat up one Bob. And there was like 5 layers in the video because it's 2 Bobs talking, 1 Bob getting beat up by 2 other Bobs.
Wow. Incogni's like really effective. Too effective. Okay. All right. Thank you. That's fine. Thank you. Thanks. That's enough. Thank you very much. That's enough. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Okay.
That was my favorite one to edit just because I was really like, I didn't know how it looked until it was exported because my computer was just, this is too many layers. My old computer was terrible. There's ads that like, I'm sure your girlfriend have seen us write and go like, this is way.
There's a service that would give you a monthly subscription to something.
Yeah.
And we decided.
It was like if you didn't hit your weight mark, they would fuck your wife. And then the bit you wrote, which I thought was great, was like, oops, I'm off. I get my goal. Do I get to watch? Like, I think
that's what we do. We go that far and then we try back a little bit.
What is that? What's the PG-13 version of that?
After a few years of editing for the Wulff Den Clips channel, Bob reaches out. He's like, yo, would you be interested in editing some main channel videos, the main Wulff Den channel videos? That was like a big deal for me because I gotten so used to doing these Twitch clips. So this was something completely new, completely different breed of video edit. And these are the videos I grew up watching in middle school. So super exciting getting to have the opportunity to just cut these main channel videos with him. And that's what I've been doing now. The process of a main Wulff Den channel video, it's basically a 4-day process, I'd say. Sometimes it gets shorter, sometimes it gets way longer. Let's say Monday, Bob is like, hey, we gotta get a video out by Thursday morning, afternoonish. I just started writing the script. So basically, realistically, Tuesday morning, I have a long, maybe 30-40 minute video of just talking head Bob, you know, blah, 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 I like this emulator. this controller sucks because it's not clicky enough, da 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 da. My job that day, cut out all the empty spaces, cut out the coughs, cut out the sneezes, you know, all the stutters, everything. Then it's like a nice, clean, maybe 14, 15 minute video of Bob speaking clearly, talking about whatever he wants to talk about. Then that night, I get another Dropbox folder. It could be like 16 clips, and it's all B-roll. It's like the nice cinematic, like panning shots of whatever emulator he's talking about, whatever controller he's talking about. I layer all of those on top of Talking Head Bob. Then that feels like a nice final video. After that, I insert the ad, you know, the long ad read. I insert transitions, sound effects. I gotta bleep out the F's, the S's, you know. Then I add this, the little Wulff Den intro, music, and I'm still not worthy enough to hit publish yet, you know. I don't have the final say. I trust myself with the edit, but I also like giving it to Bob on the last day. You know, I gotta give it to the Don. I gotta give it to Don Wulff. He has to have the final polish, the final Wulff Den touch, you know. Then Thursday morning, afternoon, you guys get your finalized video. And I usually watch the video afterward. I'm like, oh, let's see what Bob changed about my edit. And usually the only difference is like, that is not the music I chose. Usually I go with some boring ass chill music. And then Bob's like, nah, I'm replacing it with GoldenEye official soundtrack music. And usually it fits. It's way better than what I chose. So I like Bob's little like 90s touch on the videos after I get done with it.
I'm still just too anal to let go of the edit completely. I like getting it and moving stuff around and stuff. It's just so much easier than sending back editing notes and then having to wait like a whole day to get the video back. It's just so much easier to get the whole project and then add some finishing touches. It's more of a collaborative effort that way too. Me and Will used to upload 3 videos a week. I would do one, he would do one, and then we would do one together. And now it's just me on the channel, so I just do 1 video a week. And I'm pretty sure I can count the amount of times on one hand that I've skipped a week. And that's a very stressful standard to keep. Part of why I think I was able to keep up with that schedule was because me and Will had to answer to each other. If he didn't upload a video that week, he'd have to answer to me. If I didn't upload, then he would be pissed. Now, I think I've just done it for so long that the regimen stuck. It just feels weird if I don't post one week.
I mean, I made a video on the day of our grandmother's funeral. Not
Really?
Yeah, not particularly. Because it was the only time I had time to actually like film and edit a video was that day. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you know, the rush to get a video out and the fear of missing a deadline is so big and prevalent. You know, not just us, you know, we weren't that big back then, but like even like larger channel. You see this now with like larger channels. They're still under the gun to like, they have to get video out all the time. So yeah, I did a video on the day we bury grandma. I don't do that. If you're starting a channel, don't do that.
I don't remember that
Take
at all.
breaks. Yeah.
Do you remember what video it was?
It was on Dark Knight's Metal. Good comic, but yeah.
So I did this channel with Will for about 7 years, alternating videos back and forth. And both of us had completely different topics that we talked about. And that was very hard to grow a channel with just such a variety of different topics and 2 completely different types of videos being uploaded every single week.
So then, let's talk about you leaving.
Okay. Long story short, my life and the channel were going in 2 different directions. And I couldn't get to a point where they could both meet up again. I had to choose, and I had to choose my family that was just starting and my life that was continuing on. You know, I could not dedicate myself to them and also put all the time and effort into making the type of videos that needed to be made for the channel as it was at the time. At the size of the channel that it was, I couldn't do those types of videos anymore. So I had to take a step back. I had to take a break.
It was actually sad. You know, in the beginning, I wasn't too, you know, I figured, it's just a little side job for the 2 of them. What are you going to do? Then you decided to do it full time, and then Will was trying to keep up with it. But Will actually became an adult and has a family now, so it became very, very difficult for him. I was actually a little sad to see him go completely from it, and I didn't regret the fact that he had a real job, but sometimes I wonder if he would have been better off taking this route. But actually not, because he's a real grown-up, and he has to have benefits and a real job, and he does what he likes anyway. And somehow in all this, I got a dog.
I spent years hoping that something would change about YouTube. I really wanted there to be some sort of functionality where a channel could be split up into different shows. A lot of YouTube channels at the time had different types of shows on their channel, and I think now they've all kind of abandoned them. I even had meetings with people at YouTube, and every time I would address the concerns that I had about a channel like mine that had a lot of different types of content on it, and it hit a point where it seemed like nothing was gonna change, and it just wasn't gonna work out. And a lot of people always say you should split the channel up into two different channels, but that also seemed unfair because one person would always get the shit end of the stick there. This was a lot sadder to me than it probably should have been. We uploaded a video at the time about the departure. It's just that we were doing it for so long together, and it was nice to share all of that with somebody, and then all of a sudden you're on your own. And even though my videos were largely driving the growth of the channel, something about it still felt unfair. Like there was a bad balance there. I consider this part of the channel a massive failure on my part. Not being able to make the channel work in the way that we wanted it to. That was hard for me to get over for like a couple of weeks. That's why that was one of the times I can count on a hand where I took a break for a week.
What do you think about that now? Do you think that was the way to go? Yeah, absolutely. I think it was better. It was better for me. It was better for my health mentally. It was better for my family, and it was better for you. It was better for this channel, I think.
Why?
Because not that I was taking away from what you were doing, but by making this channel more gaming focused rather than just being, because it wasn't just games and comics, it was pretty much anything we wanted to talk about. By focusing on just the one thing, you were able to take it in a direction. You were able to steer it more towards a much more successful entity than it would have been had I, stuck around.
How about the podcast? How does that fit into your life versus how you were, a few years ago making videos and doing the podcast?
I mean, the podcast fits in nicely because it's one day a week. I just come over, I talk about video games, and I leave. And, I pick the news stories for it, but I'm browsing news sites anyway, in my regular life. So if I see a piece of news that could be interesting, I'll just write it down and remember it for later. And, before the show, I'll put them all on our Google Keep, and then we go from there. It integrates more seamlessly into my life now.
You like to tease the idea of making videos again every once in a while.
I do. I do want to make videos again. Like it was never a goodbye. It was give me a minute. One day I will start making videos much more regularly than I have been. It's just, look, if you can come over and potty train 2 kids for me, that would help out a lot. But otherwise you're going to have to wait just a little bit. But I'll try to have more stuff.
It's interesting because a lot of people tell me what's it like working with YouTubers, and I go, a lot of them are weird. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of them are weird people, but Bob is the realest person. And anybody that meets you that's in my circle that's not on the YouTube front, they all go, yeah, he just seems like a normal guy. I'm like, yeah, he is. He just happens to do this stuff too. So it was cool.
Honestly, working with Bob's the best, to be honest. Like, because of the projects I've done for the Wulff Den, I've gotten the opportunity to work with a broad spectrum of creators, all the way from gaming Nintendo YouTubers to like douchebag LA creators. And out of all of my clients, Bob's been my favorite to work with just because of how straightforward everything is, it's no bull crap. He doesn't like sugarcoat anything. Everything is very like, I don't like this, I don't F with that, I very much like this, here's how to do it, here's how I like it. In the past, working with a lot of creators, it's like they're very hesitant to hurt people's feelings. Like, oh, maybe don't try this. Maybe next time if you don't. Bob's like, hey, I don't like that. This is how I do it, and you never have to ask me again because I told you exactly how I like to do things. He also doesn't hesitate to send me like a 10-minute screen recording of, here, this is exactly how I've been doing audio for all these years. This is exactly how I do this type of edit, and now you never have to ask me again because I showed you how I like it. He doesn't feel like a YouTuber. Feels just like a dude that's obligated to make videos in a way. Like, there's no fakeness to it. It's almost like he hasn't been making videos for 10 years. He's been making videos for 20, 30 years almost.
The good thing about you is that you're Bob the creator, but you're also Bob the person. From a lot of other YouTube channels that I've worked with and all these other people that I've tend to be around, you're like the realist person who just doesn't care, because you're very much like, I'll figure it out, I don't know. And I like that because it's very much like, that's how I work too. And it was cool because we were able to do like different things together to make stuff look cool. And also, you're like me where you understand you're a perfectionist, but you also understand that if it has to get done, it has to get done. I like that. And we also cut a lot of corners, but it was fun doing that.
Last final words?
No, well, good luck with the next 20 years coming. Hope I'm still around to see most of it. I just want to make sure we get that net jet to the win.
We're trying.
You know, that's when Jerry Lewis's father said to him that you never hit it big until you're on Broadway. So the biggest thrill of Jerry Lewis, which half you people don't even know who he was when Jerry Lewis's father got to see him on Broadway. It's kind of like that with the Wulff Den. I'll know if they made it when I got a NetJet over here at Republic Airport taking me out to the Wynn Tower Suite.
There's a lot of other people that I would have loved to have included, but I mean, I can't include everybody. And also, this video was already long enough and hard to put together. I don't love talking about milestones because it's just a number. It's just business. But 10 years is kind of a big deal to be doing anything. Another thing this has taught me, and this is going to sound really stupid, but time is like a currency, and you can spend it to get good at stuff. So suck at something for like 3 to 5 years, and then eventually maybe you'll have a nice, happy career. Thank you guys for being here through, some of you through like all of it. But no matter where you started watching, thank you for being a part of this channel and making it this far into this video. Obviously, we're just gonna keep doing the same thing we've been doing. Hopefully, we'll find a way to make it less and less stressful as the days go on. I'll leave you guys with one little extra tidbit. You can leave it in the comments below. I'm not gonna read it. All that social media garbage, that I read. So I'll see you guys in another video, maybe even another one of these in another 10 years from now. Maybe by then we'll have figured out a cure to crypto scams. See you later.
All right, is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Oh, here's something that neither one of them ever saw or used. The gym. Home of Wulff Den Dad. All right, guys, that's a wrap. 10 years, huh? Boy, have we grown in 10 years.